privacy, and specifically this evening, HIB. Formal action will not be taken, and executive session should last about 20 minutes. Can I have a motion to move to exec session?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Avery, I saw not too.
Good evening. Hello, everybody, and thank you for coming to our board meeting. We have a beautiful full house tonight. The Open Public Meeting Statement. The New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. As required under law, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided via email and/or fax to the Times, the Lawrence Ledger, the Public Library, and has been filed with the municipal clerk. This notice was provided prior to the 48 hours required by the Open Public Meetings Act. The board reserves the right to limit public discussion of personnel items and other matters as defined in the law. We'll do our flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, do we have student representatives here tonight? Come on down. Or up, wherever. No,
Not yet.
oh, sorry.
Our high school friends.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Riddhi Patel, and I'm a member at Lawrence High School, or student at Lawrence High School. The Lawrence High School Science Olympiad team competed at regionals on January 14th at the Camden County Community College. We medaled in a total of 5 events: bungee jump, dynamic planet, entomology, helicopter, and microbe mission. Overall, as a team, we placed at 8th, giving us a chance to compete at states.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Isaac Park, and I'm a senior here at Lawrence High School. On behalf of the Lawrence High School Marching Band, we would like to thank the LTEF for providing us with the Liar Liar Music on Phone grant in order to purchase new phone lyres for our musicians. We have recently received the new lyres, and the whole band is excited to use them in our upcoming Southern California trip and future performances.
Hi, my name is Shania Pachara, and I'm going to be talking about our school's STEM Academy. Our last seminar was about marine biology, where we had our first dissection lab, where we dissected a starfish and had over 50 people show up. Our next upcoming seminar is next Wednesday for our pharmacy seminar, and we're going to have a chemistry-based lab, and we have a couple more events lined up for the next couple of months.
Great, thank you.
Good evening, my name is Nara Lim, and I'm pleased to announce that International Alliance will be hosting their annual Lunar Night here at the high school cafeteria on February 7th from 6 to 9 p.m. We invite everyone to celebrate Lunar New Year and indulge in East Asian culture through a series of games, performances, and food.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. You guys are welcome to stay or leave, whatever you want is good. Recognitions and acknowledgements.
All right, so January is Board of Education Appreciation Month. We are so thankful for all of our dedicated board members who work tirelessly to support our schools, students, and community. To our Board of Education, on behalf of the Lawrence Township Public Schools, we want to thank you for your service, your passion, your dedication, and for making our district a place that every student belongs and succeeds. This year, our lower elementary schools wanted to express their gratitude through the arts. You have already read some letters out on the table from our Dragon friends at LES. Also, you may have noticed the paperweights right here at the dais for each of you from our Ben Franklin friends. Let's give a special thanks to Mystique and Mr. Brackett's class and Ms. Hickey for providing this token of their appreciation. Yes. They wanted you to know that LTPS Board of Ed put in hours and hours of their own time for this district, for this wonderful place. They said, "You rock." Oh. I'd now, there they are, yeah. I'd now like to call up Miss Deb Lingle's class of second graders from Eldridge Park. They have 2 songs of appreciation for our Board of Education. Come on up, friends.
Oh, I love it. just want to come up and
Yeah, if you
get a
wanna come up and
picture,
take
feel
pictures.
free to come up and you can watch them from this side.
Good evening, everyone. I have some amazing second graders from EPS here tonight. And our first selection is a song that they performed last month at their concert. So here's a little bit of winter cheer for everyone. Great job, second graders. You guys did awesome. And we have one more song for you. Since it is Board Member Appreciation Month, we have a special song showing our appreciation for all of you and for all that you do.
You
Awesome job, second graders. Thank you so much to all of you for coming tonight, and thank you so much to the Board of Ed for all that you do for us.
Thank you, that was really wonderful. You guys did a great job.
Thanks to the parents for coming out in the cold.
Yes.
Thank you,
for the
friends.
parents. Yes.
It's 5 degrees.
Adorable.
To have that song stuck in your head.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Thank you, friends.
Stay warm.
Awesome job.
Well, thank you for harnessing the joy, EPS. That was beautiful. I wanted to see if Miss Michaela Ames Whitfield wanted to join us at the podium to describe for the Board of Education the beautiful frames they have in front of them
Hi.
from our Slackwood School.
Hi. So in front of you, our third graders created a mosaic collaborative project, and it's for you guys for Board of Education Appreciation Month, and we appreciate all that you guys do. So these are for you guys.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Thank you.
Tell the kids how much we loved it.
All of our students agree, we do have the best board around, so thank you.
Okay. Okay, adoption of the minutes. Can I have a motion to adopt the executive session and regular session minutes from the 1/2/2025 meeting?
So moved.
Second. With a motion and a second, Tom?
Mr. Clark, hear you? Okay. Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Kroger?
Yes.
Ms. Martinez?
Yes.
Ms. Pasculi?
Yes.
Ms. Santos?
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise?
Yes.
And did I see Dr. King come in?
Yes.
Okay. And Ms. Bose?
Yes.
Motion carried.
And a motion to adopt the regular session minutes from the 12/11/2024 meeting.
So moved?
Second.
And with a motion and a second, Tom?
Hise and Evans?
Yeah.
And Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Kroger?
Yes.
Dr. King?
Yes.
Ms. Martinez?
Yes.
Ms. Pasculi?
Yes.
Ms. Santos?
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise?
Yes.
Ms. Bose?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Reports to the board. Superintendent's report.
So I'd like to start my report off tonight inviting Miss Bonnie Giglio up to the podium to announce our Winter Grant Award. And then afterwards, we will pause for a picture, and I'll invite the board to meet me over in the well for a quick picture with the check.
Oh, good evening.
Hello.
That is a really tough act to follow. I will not be singing or dancing.
Dancing, maybe?
No, none of that. I appreciate you. My name is Bonnie Giglio. I'm the Executive Director of the LTEF. I'm here tonight to present the LTPS Board of Education with a check for $15,700 in support of a special winter grant entitled LIS Career Exploration VR Simulations. This grant will provide LIS students with 6 transfer VR headsets and the accompanying tools. In addition, LTPS will have access to treks with over 100 occupations, so students can explore and find their individual pathways. This grant addresses the critical need to provide equitable access to career exploration and college readiness opportunities for all students, particularly those from underrepresented groups. Despite the district's efforts, many students still face barriers to exploring diverse career pathways due to a lack of exposure to real-world applications, tools, and experiences. This project leverages virtual reality technology to bridge that gap, fostering a sense of belonging and engagement in student activities by offering hands-on, immersive experiences that cater to various learning styles and interests. It also creates opportunities to prepare students with special needs for life and workplace readiness, furthering the district's commitment to inclusivity and equity. Creating a link between academic subjects and real-world applications fosters a why this matters mentality. When students explore from a young age what excites or captivates them, They develop an early understanding of how personal passions can align with professional pursuits. Activities like the interest inventory help students recognize patterns in their preferences, whether they enjoy building, creating, problem solving, or helping others. The LTF is funding this pilot program this grant cycle, and there are plans for the district to continue this program in the following years, making this a true partnership between the LTEF and the district. The LTF is honored to be part of this project, and we can't wait to see it in action at the intermediate school. I want to thank Dr. Klim and her office for applying for such an innovative and exciting grant, and I thank the BOE for accepting the funding and for all that you do for our children.
Thank you. If I can have the board members come over for a picture.
Thanks.
That was money.
One other important announcement I'd like to share is that our preschool lottery application process is now posted on our website, and we'll be accepting applications as of February 3rd, so please spread the news for any upcoming 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds for next school year. You can visit our website for more information. Now I'll be standing at the I'm going to move to the podium for 2 presentations. First, I'll be reviewing the mid-year goal review for my superintendent goals, to share with the Board of Education our progress, followed by the LTPS delegation to China and Taiwan presentation. Great. Okay. I've been speaking a lot with our board president, Michelle Bose, about one revision to the community goal that I had, and I'm going to review it with the public this evening. So these are the revised goals for this evening. This board would like to get into the practice of revisiting our goals at least once a year as a mid-year check-in for fidelity. So just as a reminder to everyone to stay true to the strategic plan, I do want to point out that this plan now is 3 years old in its inception. We have stayed the course of, achievement and equity and diversity. This plan really is all-encompassing of wellness and everything that drives student achievement. This spring, we will be embarking on a new strategic plan process with this Board of Education, sort of a fresh dive into our data to really take a look at the trends and the academic needs of our students. So I'm really excited about that process. So that'll be forthcoming. So superintendent goals, just to remind everyone, goal 1 was really student belonging through career and college readiness opportunities. We are definitely in the times of needing to embark on some vocational training for students and making sure there's accessibility for all careers in all fields, not just the college tracks. Working really deeply with this goal and the leadership team up at the high school to create a public service academy, which is going to be ready to be launched not next year, but the following. So we feel very proud that we're starting to create careers and pathways for students so that they can achieve their goals and some certain certifications along the way so that they're employable while they're in high school, which is really important to really dip their toe into some of these college and career experiences. Ms. Giglia already shared that one of the pieces of this goal is to really start career exploration earlier. So we're looking to bring that virtual reality experience to LIS, so I feel very proud, and she did a deep dive into that. So that'll be underway. The purchasing is happening, and I'm working with Dr. Fisher at LIS and exactly how we're going to roll that out through some of the specials classes. The idea of that particular grant is that it really touches the lives of every student at LIS. So they'll have an opportunity to do a big deep dive into career exploration before they get up to the middle school. The goal too, we want to revisit one of the objectives. So in red, you'll see, by the end of the third quarter, 24-25, we had planned to organize, 20 community events designed to foster an open communication and build trusting relationships with stakeholders. The original goal with the objective underneath really spoke to a pre and a post assessment, but what we realized as we worked through this goal the first 4 months of the year is that we're not getting the same constituents out to really do a clean pre and post assessment. Ideally, Ms. Baldessari does survey the public, and we're not able to address all of the questions. It's not matching up as a good metric to measure the goal. So rather than sort of this pre-post assessment on how well we're doing with the community conversation and topics, what we decided to do is really capture the amount of work that we're doing in the community, really designed to foster district connections. I'll give you an example. We have spoken at, we've opened up town halls. We are at the Hispanic Heritage Night and talking to the new association that was formed in Lawrence. We have gone to the Senior Center. We're really trying to make sure that we meet the needs of all of our stakeholder groups in the district and making sure that community members and families feel that they can safely, ask questions and that we'll be transparent in response. So that's really sort of that strategic place of, making sure that we're addressing needs. That's really the change that I wanted to propose for the board this evening. The last goal is around, our preschool, which is, us diving into community partnerships, building an operational plan that includes a hybrid approach for accessibility for our families. What I mean by that is the Department of Ed has charged us with that state aid to foster connections with community providers. We have a plan to open up classrooms over at the Lawrence Day School. It's over on Quaker Bridge Road. We're in conversation with that daycare provider to turn it into classrooms that would mirror the same type of curriculum, training, assessments, and design for curriculum that would happen in district. So essentially it would be an out-of-district site and location, but again, that hybrid approach of if you have an infant and a 3-year-old, that might be an ideal location, right, for your child to start preschool, versus some of the community schools that it might be 2 separate drops if you have a little guy at home. So we're really moving forward on working towards that. I just want to give a shout out to Ms. Pardo, who is our new early childhood educator. She's our brand new supervisor. She started just under a year ago, and next year we will proudly be serving almost half of our projected preschool universe of 250 kids. Our full universe is 500. So a shout out to her for using community resources and flexibility of space with the help of Mr. Eldridge as we dive through the facilities and really take a look at what we've got. So thank you. That's my mid-year goal presentation. Next up, I'm going to call my counterparts
Just
up.
before we
Yes,
go over that, I just want to
questions?
see if anybody
Yes,
on the board
of
had any
course.
questions or comments or feedback or anything, because then we want to give our full attention to
Absolutely.
the next part of the evening.
I think it's just so exciting to see that you are looking for feedback, you're sharing with us, the communication is going both ways, and we appreciate the time and effort that you put in to communicating with us and also listening, so thank you.
Thank you. And I apologize for my back. The presentation is to the Board of Education, so that's why we're facing them.
Okay.
I have my colleagues join me up front. All right. Woo-hoo. Glasses on and off for this one. All right. Good evening, Board of Ed, colleagues, and community members. It really was a true joy to share the highlights of our recent delegation to China and Taiwan. a journey that was both inspiring and enlightening. From December 10th through December 20th, our team embarked on this incredible adventure, traveling over 24 hours to cross the international date line and arrive at our first stop, Beijing. From there, we boarded a high-speed train to Shanghai, reaching speeds of 217 miles per hour, a testament to the innovation and efficiency of China's rail system. We wrapped up our travels with a flight to Taiwan, where we completed this unforgettable experience. Our travels were made possible by the generous support of the International Partnership of Educational Research, fondly known as IPERC, and the new Taipei city government, which covered all hotel expenses, accommodations, meals, and cultural experiences. Their sponsorship of all of us significantly reduced the cost to the district, with the Board of Education simply funding the airfare, which is far less than the cost of what we would ask for our team to travel to a national conference. So thank you. Our journey, our journey aligns perfectly with our district goals, including building partnerships to prepare students for the global economy, strengthening preschool practices and developmental readiness, and creating opportunities for connection, exchanges, and collaboration. Along the way, we gained valuable insights into innovative practices in education, curriculum design, and global collaboration that will directly benefit our students and staff. This partnership has had a meaningful impact on our district, from inspiring global-mindedness to creating new opportunities for equity and innovation, even including our upcoming strategic planning process. Tonight, we will share the history of these partnerships, our lessons learned, and reflections from our leadership team. We'll even wrap up with a small cultural lesson to bring a piece of the experience home. And because it's New Jersey School Board's Recognition Month, we invite you to enjoy some tea and snacks now served by our students. So I'd like to invite Julia and Azzy to the podium to provide a token of thanks and dedication.
Good evening, everyone. I am Aisnoa Kimin, and I am the sophomore class president.
Hi, I'm Julia, and I'm a sophomore.
First and foremost, we want to say a big thank you to Lawrence Township for the opportunity to make connections with overseas schools, not only through Zoom meetings, but with in-person connections and friendships. Recently, we as a community had the opportunity to host exchange students from Nanhui, Shanghai, through our sister school program.
Meeting them in person was such a powerful experience. All of my online friends who were once just faces on a screen became a reality. My fellow classmates and I were over the moon as we had opportunities like no other, sharing laughter, stories, and creating memories that will be cherished forever. This gave us the opportunity to experience new cultures outside of our own. We were able to exchange gifts like this one. It now represents our friendships and bonds that will never be broken.
My partner's name was Alvin. Alvin is a 16-year-old boy who was, when I first met him, shy and timid, as he was in a new school and new environment, and he was away from his classmates as he had to shadow me and follow me to all my classes. But as he became more comfortable with not only the school environment, but with me, he slowly began to crack out of his shell and express and showcase him and his culture. Though his trip was short-lived, it gave not only me and Alvin, but other students the opportunity to continue our friendship outside of just a sister school. As he left on his journey to different schools, I wondered if I would be able to experience the same joy that my partner Alvin has gotten, experiencing a new world outside of his own.
My student was named Ronald. He was incredibly kind and helpful. I noticed that some of the students looked up to him as he was 17 years old and one of the oldest in the group. He was also the most fluent in English, and many of his peers looked up to him for that. I want to be like Ronald. I want to be someone who's dependable and someone who my classmates can rely on. He has inspired me ever since that day. This experience has stayed with me and will forever stay. It has made many of my classmates dream of taking the next step, traveling abroad ourselves. We've been imagining what it could be like to visit Taiwan, to immerse ourselves in the culture, build even stronger connections, and see the world through new eyes the way that the students from Nangshanghai did at Lawrence High School.
I truly believe this could be a life-changing opportunity for us, to be able to experience the things we've only been able to read about and see on TV. This could truly bring our learning to life in a whole different way than we ever anticipated.
So we're here today to ask you for your support to make this dream a reality, not just for me, but for all of us who hope to grow through these connections, making our Zoom meetings come to life. Thank you very much. Xie
I'm going to be the filler. So one thing that was really unique about our experience was the amazing hospitality that we felt while we were in all of the cities that we visited. And at every meeting that we had and every signing of a memorandum of agreement or debriefing that we had with school administration, we were welcomed with these beautiful name tags, and so we wanted to replicate them for you. We always had our name in English and then also our name in Chinese. And it was just such a really beautiful experience. They took the time to really make everything so aesthetically pleasing and serve us wonderful snacks for us to experience that are different from our own culture. And I think we all found that to be incredibly welcoming and really just kind of allowed us to come in and feel very special in their home. So enjoy from us. If you don't have time to eat it, we have little bags for you to take them home.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're missing one board member, so they're looking.
I believe tea is being served, so it's pretty exciting. Hi, everyone. My name is Jean Musi. First, I want to reiterate what Dr. Klim said, thanking the board so much for the support of this trip. It really was an amazing experience. My job on our presentation is to give you all like a quick history of our Chinese and Taiwan partnerships. Some of you may not know how far they go back. Other ones do know how far it goes back. We really have enjoyed a lot of our colleagues traveling abroad, and also, as our students from the high school just explained, having visitors join us here. This is over the course of many years, and the district has benefited tremendously from these interactions. We've really grown as a district, and our students have grown also. LTPS, 15 years of a global partnership, goes all the way back to 2010. Ben Franklin and Jianan Elementary in Taiwan were the first sister schools that we entered into. And that program continued to grow for more than 9 years. In the following year, in 2011, Taiwan's Minister of Education and the Chairman of the Environmental Administration actually visited LTPS. They toured our schools. It was a really big deal. The Commissioner of Education came from Trenton to be with us, so it really was impressive that this big event happened. In 2013, Dr. Allison Fisher and Ms. Lin visited China as part of a 300-member educator Chinese bridge delegation that was supported by College Board. They traveled with a large group, went to a lot of schools, were able to bring back a lot of things that they learned. In 2014, I actually went as part of a Eco Schools initiative that was sponsored by the United States EPA, and it was focused on eco-literacy. A lot of the things that I brought back on that trip really became the backbone of some of our data collection on the Streamkeeper project, which is a project that still remains at Ben Franklin. In 2015, Mr. Tom Eldridge and Ms. Lin visited China as part of a team dedicated to innovation, problem solving. They were looking closely at schools. That delegation was part of Rutgers University. In 2016, Dr. Mary Pancoast was a member of the Confucius grant program, which focused on expanding world languages and global literacy. Dr. Mindy Malofsky and Ms. Lin traveled to China as members of the Confucius Institute of Rutgers University. Their team focused on collaborative projects, health and wellness. From 2010 to 2019, LTBS students were engaged in a variety of projects, video conferencing, website collaboration, tech projects, letter writing, led by many teachers, Mrs. Schmidt, Mrs. Smoots, Ms. Sipe, Ms. Vedvius, like all over different grades, we had projects going. In 2023, Dr. David Adam traveled to Taiwan with Ms. Lin and shared many of the ideas and strategies about critical thinking and creativity that are a part now of LHS. And his team brought back new ideas about expanding that critical thinking. Between 22 and 24, you see many of the exchanges we had deepened these partnerships. As the girls explained that, back in September, their friends who they had been only communicating through video actually came to the high school. In 2022, the Fujian Across Mountains and Seas Sino-U.S. Cultural Exchange event came to LHS, which was, again, another big deal and really put some wonderful spotlight on our district and these global partnerships. But I just want to reiterate that all of these experiences have really benefited our students as they got to have a chance to meet other students, to have those global connections. Our kids really experienced opportunities for public speaking, for growth in technology, and just found out that the world is a lot bigger than just Lawrence Township Public Schools. So as we were all traveling, this quote always spoke to me: the real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes. That's really what we bring back now, new eyes with new perspectives. When we were leaving the National Museum in Taiwan, Mrs. Ament and I stopped, and there was this big, beautiful painting, but the symbols connected in all directions. And that's what really, as a district, we are aspiring to do at all times. Connect everything so it all fits together. And that's our walk-on photo. And I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Barriax.
Good evening, everybody. Damian Barriaxa here, and I would like to join the chorus of thanks for this opportunity. This was an amazing career and life-defining period of time that is not something I will ever forget. So my true heartfelt appreciation goes out to each and every one of you for the opportunity to be a part of this. So the picture you see behind you was taken in one of the many STEAM classrooms we visited. You can, if you want to play Where's Waldo, we're in there somewhere. You can spot us spread throughout the picture there. But we're in there with the students of the school, also with some exchange students from Australia, I believe, and maybe one or two exchange teachers as well, who were visiting from Australia and teaching in Taiwan. A lot of the schools we visited, especially in Taiwan, there was a strong emphasis on that integration of math, design, and the arts in classes literally called STEAM classes. We know that conceptually is STEAM here, but these courses are actually called STEAM classes. All those skills come together in a class like this one, in which students design and create items with both form and function, often from donated and recycled or upcycled materials. The hallway outside this classroom was littered in the best possible way with old bicycles and, just it almost looked like Doc Brown's workshop from Back to the Future. There was so many bits and pieces and parts, but I have a feeling it was organized chaos. The teacher knew where everything was, and it was all safe, I promise. So we had so many pictures from these workspaces, it was really hard to narrow down the few that we included. But if you can, might be hard to see, but if you can see, some of the students are holding up, they look like snowballs. They're these light colored ball-shaped items that you see the kids holding up. Those are actually working lights. They were constructed with heavy paper and cardboard, and there's a working LED light inside them. And there's we took another picture with the lights out, with the overhead lights out and those lights on, but it didn't come out quite as good as this one. So we didn't include it. All right. The next slide, the driving force behind the Taiwan STEAM curriculum is usually rooted in problem solving. All right, how can we take materials and tools to which we already have access and solve everyday problems? This approach isn't new to us in Lawrence Township, as this has been part of our technology curriculum for years, but it was affirming to us to see our counterparts on the other side of the world placing as much value on creativity and innovation as we do. In the picture on the right-hand side, the teacher is demonstrating a gadget that one of the students designed and built to hold their cell phone in a certain way that the charger wouldn't fall, or the charging cord wouldn't fall out, and it would be held at just the right angle to allow them to view it. Just something along those lines. It was very important to the person who created it, and that's really what matters. On the left-hand side, you can see me working on a puzzle that was actually built and designed and built by a team of students. And as you can tell by the look on their faces, I was taking way too long to figure it out. Still working on it.
They're on the page, like, really?
All right. Aside from the STEAM context, there is also a strong emphasis on the visual and performing arts in isolation in the primary and early secondary grades as well. The schools we visited all supported the arts in different ways, but generally speaking, all had very impressive facilities, such as full dance studios with accompanists, playing on the piano as the students danced. Students study both traditional, as you can see there, and contemporary forms of dance. You saw the workshops for makerspaces already. And there are also studios for studying and creating music and art, much like the ones we have in our schools. Many of the schools we visited even had TV studio facilities, often used for morning announcement type of programming, but the one school we visited also used theirs for filmmaking. We were treated to student-scripted and student-animated stop-motion animation films based on traditional folktales. That was really, really interesting to see. Just a little bit more on the visual arts. Just like dance, students also study local traditional as well as Western forms of art in all varieties of media. In these pictures on this slide, we visited a class in which students were practicing calligraphy.
How many were in that class on the right there? How many students?
A lot. There were in the schools we visited, there were anywhere between 25 and 45 students to a class.
Ooh.
Yeah, there were some big classes. This was a very spread out work studio style of classroom, but there were also those numbers also translated to more traditional seat and desk style classrooms as well. There was a little more room to spread out, but as you can see, it was very crowded in that studio. Yes?
The number of teachers in the room?
In that room, I believe there was just the one. And I don't, the lady on the right, she's the principal of the school, so she was taking us on the tour. The little girl on the left, she stopped me and wanted to give me that picture, so we had to take a selfie together. There was non-negotiable at that point. All right. Of course, it was great to spend as much time as we did spend in the classrooms, but as we sometimes find at professional conferences too, we also learned a lot from the informal conversations we had with our Chinese and our Taiwanese colleagues walking to and from classes and over meals. As far as the arts are concerned, I learned that avenues for, despite the emphasis on the arts in the primary and early secondary grades, a lot of times avenues for further study in the arts are greatly diminished after grade 9, unless one chooses to pursue post-secondary study in those fields. And even those options are limited, at least in China. So I'm going to use this opportunity to thank, once again, the Lawrence Board of Ed for their commitment to the arts across the K-12 grade span. And of course, we look forward to maintaining and growing that commitment in the coming years. We talked a little bit, some of the other things we talked about are how schools are funded, the differences between how schools are funded here versus how they're funded there. Some of the facilities we saw were unbelievable. We saw a planetarium at one school. We saw a giant model of an eye, kind of like the heart at the Franklin Institute at another school. We saw a VR space shuttle at another school. where does the money for all these things come from? These schools are funded primarily through the federal government. So there's, the schools get a lot of leeway in how they implement those funds, but that's the source of, the primary source of the funding as opposed to local funding. On the flip side of that, we talked also about special needs. There's no federal obligation to provide services for students with disabilities. When I asked how these schools do serve students with disabilities, the answer I got was, we can accommodate to some degree, or sometimes parents come in to help, or they go to a special school. So inclusion is not valued or legally required as much in the areas we visited as it is here. Oh, sorry. The middle picture is a sample daily schedule at Fuhe Junior High School, and again, hard to see, I apologize, but there's a course there that students take in grades 7 through 9 called a Scout course, which I thought was interesting. And the Scout course, when we heard a little more about it, the skills taught there line up with a lot of what I learned during my years as a Boy Scout. Specifically, skills like outdoorsmanship and first aid, and more generally, skills like teamwork and leadership. So I thought that was an interesting course for folks, students in their middle years to take, middle grades years. Talking with some of our one of our teacher translators at lunch one day, he was surprised to hear that each U.S. state had their own curriculum standards, since China and Taiwan have a national standard curriculum that all schools teach. And the last point I was going to make was about the class size, being on average 25 to 45, mostly on the higher end of that. So,
Dr. Barry,
yes.
Do they differentiate, or everybody gets the same lesson? I mean, 45 kids, that would be hard to...
Yeah, what we saw was a lot of whole class instruction. I can't say it never happens, I don't know, but most of what we saw was whole group instruction.
And the kids were well behaved.
We did not see any discipline problems while we were there. They were being good for the visitors, I suppose. So I'm going to thank you very much for your patience with me. I know I can be long-winded. I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Hayes to...
Thank you.
Thank you. You're serious. They're probably
Dr.
afraid.
Barry, excellent. Yeah, this science, engineering, all the STEAM rooms were so amazing to see over there. I'm repeating, but I can't, again, begin without thanking the Board of Ed for their support of this life-changing experience. Through our school visits and cultural excursions, we were submerged in the history and culture of China and Taiwan. What was the best part? The kids. Interacting with students of all ages filled my bucket and reminded me that kids are the same all around the world. Their joy, their excitement, their passion, and even their nervousness at practicing their English with us. It was fun in some of the buildings. The students, these are middle schoolers, high schoolers, were in charge of showing us around. We'd have a partner who would be our person for the tour, and they'd be like, I'm really nervous, just practicing their English. But such a joy to be with them. You know, we were able to interact with preschoolers up through high schoolers, so we got to see them all. One of our fun takeaways was when we visited the preschool right before nap time. So I'm sure they loved that we riled them up. They were so excited. And they're jumping up and down, and when we had to say goodbye, they were like, no bye, no bye. But as the buildings are set up there, it's almost like an apartment. So it's all, there's a big courtyard in the middle, and then all the classrooms enter from the outside around, and there's several stories up. And they were brushing their teeth outside of the classroom before they went in to take their nap. They packed lunch. It was the sweetest thing. One of the things that we got to do is we got the opportunity to visit the National Museum of China, which is an art and history museum located on the eastern side of Tiananmen Square in Beijing. The National Museum of China has a collection of more than 1.4 million items, dating back to the Paleolithic and Neolithic periods and going all the way to the Ming and Qing dynasties of the early 20th century. So our sixth grade students, as you know, they study ancient civilizations, and they'll be moving into learning about ancient China within the next couple of weeks, also in connection with the Lunar New Year. I am looking forward to sharing my takeaways. I am trying to bring the museum to them. This is just a sample of the pictures and things that I collected for them that I'll be going in to share. Aside from that, though, I'll also be sharing the culture that we experience. So I have videos of the schools. I have a whole page of selfies with kids, and I'm just looking forward to sharing that experience with the sixth graders as they dive into that. Yes, and giving them a peek into children their age in another part of the world. Of course, I was excited to visit the beautiful media centers in every school. Did share already a lot of pictures and takeaways with the librarians. As soon as I got home, I put all the pictures in a slideshow and shared it with them. Their libraries, as you can see, look very similar to ours. Some of them do have historical and cultural displays, some artifacts in libraries, but all in all, beautiful libraries, very welcoming, engaging for kids. And then can you spy in the bottom right there, there's the Chinese version of Diary of a Wimpy Kid, which I thought the kids would get a big kick out of. One of the things we did notice, though, while we did go to that one calligraphy class that was taking place in the library, we didn't really see a lot of kids in the libraries while we were there. So the STEAM, and again, obviously the tour was set up for them to see what they really wanted to showcase their innovation and their STEAM rooms and all the STEAM classes. So we saw a lot of that. And I was the one, if they didn't take us to the library, I'd be like, can we go in the library? Always have to see the libraries. But not a lot of kids in the library. So I do hope, and from talking to the teachers, that that is a bigger part of their day, but it didn't seem to be something that was as valued maybe as much as some of the science and engineering pieces. Also looking at the facilities, beautiful facilities. A lot of these are schools, so they were in cities. There was an indoor pool in one of the buildings. That was in one of the 3rd through 8th grade buildings. I have some videos to show the 6th graders of the kids having a tug of war contest outside, but really nice facilities. One of the buildings we visited, they were actually in the process of putting down a new track. But the picture in the very middle is one, I actually sent this to the K-6 health and phys ed staff while I was there because I was so intrigued. The kids at this middle school had a 10-minute break between classes. And Dr. Barry X and I were walking, and we can see we're up several stories. We looked out over, and there were kids all over this open court with, they're doing pickleball, and they're throwing balls, and running around, and playing, and just like getting energy out, again, they're middle schoolers. Music started to play that it was time to transition to the next class, and within 30 seconds, there was not a child, there was not a piece of equipment anywhere. And the one thing that we were looking for was, where are the supervising adults? There were none. So the kids take that 10 minutes, it's their time to do what they want, but it was really fun to see kids taking that time to go run around, interact, get some wiggles out, and then be able to focus, because it was about 10 o'clock in the morning, so it would have been like a mid-morning break for them. Also, on the top left, one night I did have the opportunity to have dinner with those to their teachers and directors of the Health and Physical Education Department in New Taipei City, and just talking to them about, and actually the girl on the left was formerly part of their national basketball team. So talking to them about their curriculum, how things were set up, and it's very, very similar to what we do here. They do teach skills through units and through sports. Kids have class 5 days a week, 50 minutes. We found a lot of similarities in the health and phys ed world. And then also, while visiting New Taipei City, we were able to learn about and see in action their Bilingual 2030 initiative. Taiwan adopted a policy to become a bilingual English, Mandarin, Chinese nation by 2030, with a particular focus on K-12 students and its civil service. While English is the dominant foreign language in Taiwan, taught from elementary school and onwards, oral proficiency needs improvement relative to reading and writing. The government has increased the budget to the public sector, schools, and libraries to improve the public's English proficiency. So they were very proud about that and excited about sharing the progress with us. And then there's one of my favorite self-pictures with the preschoolers. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Seaman.
Hello. So I have to tell you that this journey was absolutely incredible, and I am still processing the trip as I look at pictures and debrief with my friends and tell stories to many people. I continue to be overwhelmed with gratitude for the opportunity to visit China and Taiwan. The team was absolutely amazing, and as you can see, we all came with different lenses to the experience. When I first received the text from Robin and said a resounding yes, I would love to go, I chose to commit to a culture of saying yes on the trip. When we were presented with different opportunities or different foods to try or different things to do, we all just said, yes, we're doing it, we're trying it, which was super awesome. So thank you to everyone here tonight who made this possible, not only for the team, but for us to be able to bring back our knowledge to the district. As I prepared for the journey, I thought long and hard about my role as a school principal and what I would want to take away from the opportunity. I wanted to be sure I was able to capture moments and learn things that would be relevant for not only my growth as a leader and educator, but for the students, staff, and the district's growth. So I went right to the best source, which was the students. I shared the itinerary with them at an all-school meeting, and I asked them what they wanted to learn from my travels. We went over the planned itinerary with photos and facts, and I sent them off to their classrooms and homes to discuss their wonders about the journey. Well, they came back with about 70-plus questions for me to explore. I won't go over all 70. I knew that I had my work cut out for me, and so I called on a very special friend to help me. This is Flat Stanley. And Flat Stanley is a character from Jeff Brown's children's book about a boy named Stanley who gets squashed flat by a bulletin board. Instead of feeling blue about being flat, Stanley begins to use this to his advantage. He realizes that since he's now flat, he can go anywhere. One of our first grade teachers has a tradition with Flat Stanley in her classroom, and the students mail him around the world for many adventures, and the recipients send him back with documents of the adventures he had. Well, I figured he was just the guy to take with me and capture the adventures for all of the students. So Flat Stanley went everywhere to the schools. If you can see on the Great Wall of China down there, he is hooked to my back. He was hooked to my back everywhere we went, and we brought him out for special occasions. He even got recognized by some of the people who knew who Flat Stanley was, and they were excited to have those conversations. He went into the space shuttle with Dr. Klim and Miss Musi for a VR experience. He got to do the stop animation videos with the 3 girls up top. He tracked our travel for us, and if you see on the bottom left, that was at one of our schools who was showing us their school mascot. So Flat Stanley was hanging out with the school mascot. Next slide. We also took him to the Forbidden City, and he rode on the high-speed train with us and went to the Oriental Pearl Tower. And on the right there, we had dumplings on our last day in Taiwan, and we got to see the people in the back making the dumplings live. So that was pretty exciting. So what did Flat Stanley learn with the student questions in mind? So he found out that the classes there are about 45 to 50 minutes each. They have a structured recess period from what we could see. We didn't see too much unstructured except at the middle school that we went to when they had that short break. The school day runs from about 8 to 4. Some grade levels stay until 6 p.m. And each school had some sort of version of good character or character pillars or a mantra that they lived by to ensure that they were teaching their students to be good citizens, just as we do here in Lawrence Township. One of the big differences was the lunch. All students are served a beautiful hot lunch, and they eat it in their classrooms. They're delivered right outside their doors, much like kind of we do with our pre-K here, but it's for everybody in the schools, and it's absolutely amazing. Soups, rice, vegetables, meats. I mean, it really is just what we ate in the faculty room cafeterias was incredibly impressive. Class sizes, as you heard, they were anywhere from 25 to 45 students in a classroom, and it was crowded. In China, some of the schools were grades 1 through 9, and in Taiwan, we saw pre-K all the way up through high school. The kids were really interested in the school culture. They do have mascots like bears, and in that picture, the mascot was called Purple Girl. They do have colors for their schools like blue and gold. They do speak their native language and English in some of their classes. And they do wear uniform coats. We saw a lot of uniform coats, and sometimes their sweatsuits would be blue and pink, blue in China, and so they did have a uniformity to them, and every single student wore sneakers. I thought that that was very interesting. The curriculum, there was a heavy focus, as you've heard, on makerspaces, creating building, art, math, science in each building, and Taiwan still has a wood shop, which was so amazing to see. They actually use the saws and the lathes, and they create. They also have a baking class. The primary school curriculum consists of Chinese, mathematics, PE, music, drawing, and elementary instruction in nature, history, and geography, combined with practical work experiences around the school compound. That was one difference that we saw. Often we see our custodians sweeping up around the school. There were students assigned to those jobs. Every student had a job in the school to ensure that the school was running properly. And then some fun facts that the kids wanted to know about. The flight to get to China was a total of 20 hours and 55 minutes in the air. The Forbidden City has over 98 buildings and is over half a mile long. The Great Wall of China is 13,171 miles long and surprisingly has a lot of cats that live there. The high-speed train to Shanghai is the first commercial maglev train, which it uses magnetic force to travel above the rails, and it can reach speeds of 268 miles per hour, and it showed us traveling around 214 miles per hour as we rode the train. So, of course, the journey didn't end when we got back here to New York and traveled back to the board office. I was excited to continue the journey through sharing my experiences and forming partnerships that will benefit all stakeholders. Last Friday, I had an all-school meeting where I was able to share the journey with the staff and the students, and it was so exciting to see when I was saying words like ni hao and walai ni. I had many students I have a family who is from Taiwan, and they have 3 children in our school, and we have other students who speak Mandarin, getting up and smiling and so excited because they had this connection that they could share with me, and many of the pictures from Taiwan, the one student was just very connected with. They enjoyed getting to find out the answers to their questions, as well as seeing the many gifts that I brought back to share with our school. In addition, I shared the presentation with our families. Next Wednesday for the Lunar New Year, Miss Lin will be bringing her AP Mandarin class to EPS, and they will be sharing the history of the Lunar New Year holiday and participating in some cultural activities to celebrate the Year of the Snake. We hope to continue this partnership with Ms. Lin's class for more events and learning opportunities. And while we were in Taiwan, we also connected with the Hoda Elementary School in Taiwan, and we are hoping for our students to be able to connect through letters, video chatting, and common experiences that they can have together, much like Ben Franklin did in the past. Again, I want to express my gratitude for this awesome opportunity, which will only continue to enhance our students' global experiences and connections. I invite you to join us at EPS as we partner with our new friends moving forward. And I would really be remiss if I didn't give a huge thank you to Miss Lynn, who has traveled not just with our team, but so many teams and has hosted her expertise and really made it to be a wonderful journey. So thank you, Miss Lynn, for being our guide. Thank you for listening. It was a lot to put into a presentation. Yes.
I observed that all 4 women presenters are wearing scarves.
Yes, yes. We did visit some, we had the opportunity to visit some of the markets, which are very different than our shopping experiences here in New Jersey. Many markets with beautiful things, whether it would be silk, whether it would be things like the ornaments that you have here, and everything was negotiable. So we learned that quickly, and again, Miss Lynn was a wonderful guide in helping us navigate that, and so we really love our scarves that we've brought back with us.
Thank you.
Thank you, team.
Thank you so much.
Oh, sorry, did we have a last slide? Yes, so this was a sign that was outside of the school in Shanghai, I believe. And we saw that they not only have it on their logo, but they have it actually cemented on their school for Better Schools, Better Life. And as soon as we all saw it, we just looked at each other and we thought, this is it, right? Better school, better life. That's the way of the world. And it was an amazing and incredible opportunity that I will never forget for the rest of my life and will continue to process with my team and with all of you. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that phenomenal overview and everybody's participation. And of course, thank you to Mrs. Lynn, and appreciate all your work. My son was the first class in 2010 with Mrs. Musey, and Tyler Van Heist was in that class, where we Skyped with Taiwan, and we would wake up at like 4 o'clock in the morning to go to the school, and my younger child would also go because I had nobody to watch them at the time. And it was something that stayed with me forever, and knowing the impact that this has had on our community, on our staff, on our students, is just amazing, and I thank you for sharing that with us, and we look forward to hopefully many more opportunities for our community to embrace cross-cultural experiences. Thank you, Dr. Klim, for doing all the work for us, and I'm always blown away by all the incredible things our educators do for our students and our community. So, thank you. Okay. Board Secretary report.
So on the agenda for you this evening is the acceptance of the audit. We call it the Annual Comprehensive Financial Report, and a synopsis is before you this evening as required. The audit will be posted online, and you will find more than likely, I think there's 20 years of audits online at www.ltps.org. Within the audit, there's the management discussion and analysis report, there's the auditor's report. There were no findings, and so there is no corrective action to bring forward to the Board of Education, but we will post the audit, as we always do, for anyone's review from the public. In addition, tomorrow I'll be posting some more information up on the web, or asking Jen to do it with respect to the referendum. Anytime someone has a question, I like to put that information up so that anyone who asked the question will get their answer, but anyone else who may be interested will see, not the question from the person, but they'll see the information. So Steve Schreier has put together for us quite a bit, a laundry list of things that I had asked for some time ago and knew they were coming. And so it's rather impressive to see what's contained in this referendum in terms of the number of classes, net number of classes, as opposed to just new constructed classes. Because we will be renovating some classes. What was once an art room may become a science lab. And so we asked for the net classes, and of course we have all this. It's in the drawings. But I asked him to reduce it to a different type of tabular format, and I also asked him to recategorize it in different ways than we already have it. So he did all of that, and it's here. And Lee Kahn, we promised you would have this. We've had some other interest from other folks in the community as well, and so I'll be putting that up very soon. Some things that we emphasized at the community conversation that we had here, which was the week before last, was it? Or was it the week before last? Last week. But it seems a little further back than that. We're stressing the number of maintenance initiatives, and so it's incredible. I know we discussed it in the well, but we're doing more than just putting in new spaces and appropriate learning spaces. We're replacing the entire roof on the building, and that's part of, you'll find that inside of things that are already posted online on our website. That information is there, but somehow it's not resonating, so I figured I would say it again. So we have other information that's here in terms of renovations to our auditorium. The point being, it's not just appropriate learning spaces, but we're taking this opportunity to do capital maintenance within that, the referendum. Some other information is there that you might be interested in. Of course, I don't know what you're going to be interested in. Some people are interested in what is the lighting that's going to be used in the auditorium. Someone will ask me that next. I have no idea, but I'll get that information for you when I can, because to someone that's very important. Someone will ask me what the acoustical finishes are for the music room. We probably haven't chosen them yet, but I can find out for you. Someone else will ask me, are they automatic flush valves for the lavatories, or are they manual flush valves? We haven't chosen those yet. And there's a reason why we haven't done a lot of this work. It's because the referendum hasn't passed yet. And so right now, for the Board of Education, what we're relegated by, go ahead, it's okay, you can do that while I'm talking, it's okay. There'll be more for everyone else because I won't be able to eat. So the idea is, what we're constrained by at this point in time is the question that we put on the referendum ballot. That is what we're constrained by. It is not a draft floor plan. Although we don't think we're going to have a material change from that, but we may have 8 bathrooms instead of 7 on the plan. Things may change. But what won't change is what's on the referendum question. So I'll have that for you soon, and I'll put it up there, and I'll probably do what I did last time. If someone asks, I'll email them directly, but also post it on the website. And then I'll just email you as well, okay? So finally, in the well, we talked about PEA, and there was some interesting feedback on PEA. I want to make it clear that the $500,000 that the board contributes to PEA, that is for our kids with special needs. It is not an elective contribution. We will pay that whether or not PEA exists or not. So that is a federal mandate, and we're required to provide preschool education to students with special needs. So unfortunately, it's represented as if it's an enterprise of the Board of Education. No, that's a mandate. So whether or not we had undertaken PEA or not, we were going to spend those funds, and we will into the future, regardless of whatever happens with PEA. Any questions on that at all? No? Okay, so if I can help, send your questions my way. If you think you have something of interest that we should post, some factoid that we haven't covered, we'll do that. Jen gets things up instantly. I don't know how she does that, but she does. And I see that our tax calculator is up there. I put up the amortization schedule, which seems to have cleared up some mathematical computational concerns. And so if you see anything else that helps bring information to people, we never know what people are going to need to make up their minds. We could not have foreseen the questions that came up from the lovely lady who was in the well just last week, who expressed to us, I want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear it directly so that I can make up my mind. And with total respect for that, our request was, if we don't answer your questions here, please ask us so that we can respond. I think she was pleasantly surprised that she got her questions answered. And so kudos to those folks who do ask the questions so that they can be informed. And so thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tom. Board President's report. First, I wanted to thank everybody for the wonderful presentation, as well as the gifts and the students from Eldridge Park and their performance. It really means a lot to the board when our students come here and perform. So I just wanted to thank Eldridge Park and everybody for what they've done this evening. I just wanted to take a moment to address some concerns that have been raised in our community regarding the upcoming referendum vote on March 11th. First and foremost, I want to assure everyone that the board is fully committed to making financially responsible decisions while prioritizing and upholding student achievement. Since returning from the pandemic, our community has expressed loud and clear the importance of addressing academic losses and improving educational success to meet the needs of all learners. This board hired Dr. Klim to lead our schools and advance our strategic plan for academic excellence. After a thorough and careful examination of the academic, financial, and operational needs of the district, Dr. Klim, in collaboration with our educators, determined that the proposed changes outlined in the referendum are essential for achieving the goals in our strategic plan. We, the board, and the district have worked diligently to communicate the details of the referendum, what it entails and how it will benefit both our students and our community. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank our communications manager, Jen Baldessari, for her exceptional work in handling all of the communications regarding the referendum. As a proud Lawrence graduate and parent of 3 Lawrence Township public school students, Jen has gone above and beyond to ensure the accurate and clear information reaches every member of our community. Contrary to some misconceptions, we did not hire an outside agency to assist with the process. All marketing and outreach has been conducted by our staff, our board members, and central office team led by Jen. Finally, I wanted to remind everyone that on February 4th, we will be hosting a community town hall at the middle school. This will be a wonderful opportunity to answer questions and share further information about the upcoming referendum vote. We encourage everyone in the community to attend and engage in the discussion and learn how the proposed changes can shape the future of our district. I appreciate everybody's attention and reaching out when you have questions, because we really want to educate the public on what the referendum is going to mean for us. And one last note, the preschool application process will be opening on February 3rd, so we want to get that out there so everybody is aware of that. Thank you from this board to our community, and thank you to Jen and Tom and Robin for all of the hard work you've done thus far. We have a little more to do, and I'm really proud of everything that this board has done together getting to this point. Thank you. Okay, we do not have any community relations and legislative affairs report. Liaison reports. Student board member report from Edison.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Over the last month, I've been working with my advisors to refine the student representative position and shift how I collect data each month. We've decided to focus on reporting Board of Education initiatives and information to the LHS student body, gathering their opinions about these initiatives and any additional questions they may have, and then sharing their thoughts back with the board. To gather this feedback, we're holding discussions within student council meetings and encouraging broader participation to ensure a more accurate representation of the entire student body. This month, I shared information about the 2025 referendum, its initiatives, and the upcoming bond vote with my peers. Student council members particularly recognized the potential benefits of transitioning 6th grade to the middle school, appreciating this progressive change. Additionally, some students expressed interest in attending the referendum town hall meeting on February 4th, which I also look forward to. There were no further questions or feedback from the student body this month. Thank you for your time and attention. I look forward to continuing to share updates and insights from the student body as we refine this role further. This concludes my report.
Thank you so much, Edison. We look forward to seeing you at our town hall as well. New Jersey School Board Association.
Okay, I first have to say thank you, Edison. He already took care of a question that I had before he even knew I was going to ask it. He already had a solution. Thank you. Okay, New Jersey School Boards. First of all, I had the pleasure of tuning in to Robin and Tom's webinar. Actually, it was a podcast hosted by Ray Pinney at New Jersey School Board's headquarters on the 16th. The title was Building Your District Budget as a Team. It was filled with information on how relationships, cooperative planning helps to ensure a successful budget in a district. Their warmth and dedication was shining through every minute of the program, and I thank you both for your expertise and sharing that with everyone. You can click on the link at New Jersey School Boards if you would like to view it. Highly recommend it. On January 23rd, that's tomorrow, Thursday night, 6:45, a virtual meeting will begin. Topic for our Mercer County School Board meeting is an introduction to artificial intelligence, AI, in an educational environment. The presenter will be Derek Tranchina, who is an experienced educator and administrator with over 15 years' experience. Please consider attending. It sure would be nice to see your lovely faces in the little squares on my computer. As a side note, you may have noticed that this month's New Jersey School Board's Leadership magazine has an article about artificial intelligence. Also inside, there's an article about our student representative on school boards. I encourage us all to take a glance at those two articles. I'm sure there are lots more, but those were the two that piqued my interest. We'll have a nominating committee update for New Jersey School Boards, the county, Mercer counties, to call for officers, a description of upcoming meetings for the 20th at West Windsor Plainsboro High School. We did this our first time last year. It was Mercer County's Unsung Hero Award ceremony. It begins 6 o'clock. It's an experience that sometimes we miss students, and this really shines a light on the kids who normally aren't spotlighted. These are kids who may have had some adversity. They shine brightly, and they show how they've worked through difficult times. They truly deserve to be celebrated. So that's a next one, county meeting after tomorrow night. Second annual New Jersey School Board's Women's Leadership Conference will be held Friday, March 21st at Mercer County Community College. Program last year was outstanding. I'm looking forward to another uplifting conference, and it'll be amazing because last year's was awesome too. LTEF, both Robin and I attended the meeting. I don't know, did you want to say anything? You want me to? Just a quick, we talked about this, the grant cycle that we had tonight. Exciting to see the work, how they work together with Robin with this cycle. It was interesting, they shared that they had such great communication with Robin, and she enlightened them on facets that they had missed before. It just shows that cooperation and leadership qualities, bonding together is really appreciated with all. And then project graduation, they are in desperate need of support. Right now, it looks like it may not happen. The funding is so incredibly low. So if you take a look at some of the things that are coming up, casino night is coming to help support that. You'll remember that this is an experience for our graduating seniors. It's alcohol, drug-free. It's really the last time they're all going to get together to celebrate their graduation and relationships. So take a look at possibly supporting that. That's my report.
Great, thank you, Joe. Reconfiguration ad hoc, Diana.
Excuse me, student services did not meet, but Arundel will make a
Oh,
report.
yes, sorry.
Arundel will report
Yes.
next
Student services will meet next month.
me out.
I'm sorry.
You're just
So sorry.
So I'm going to report out on our reconfiguration ad hoc. I think just because this is a new structure, it's important to remind folks that we're really embracing the ad hoc nature. So we just keep meeting when we need to meet, and we're involving as many board members in a cycle to make sure that we as board members can be as responsive to what we're hearing from the communities as possible, and to the district, who have been working just tirelessly to, as you've heard throughout the evening, really communicate, engage with community members. So at our first meeting last Friday evening at 4:30, we met, Olga Martinez, myself, Michelle Bose, and Dr. Klim met to just start debriefing on the community events that the staff had already engaged in. And then we also touched base about some of the presentations that would be at the community meeting. So now I can relate to Kevin, because Tom stole our thunder about talking about, I was supposed to talk about the community meeting, but Tom did. And so, but we did truly, as a liaison group and as a board, we did want to thank the community members who came out, both in person, and the community members who continue to reach out and explain what they're hearing, ask questions, as mentioned, seek out answers out of curiosity, but also give us feedback about how the different messages and information is resonating and landing. And so it's been incredibly helpful. And I think what was really exciting to see at the community meeting was to hear from Dr. Klim and the leadership team how, and just really, they painted a beautiful picture in connecting all the dots that we know with a lot of information out there sometimes is missed. So it became very clear in different sections of the evening how this vision that's focused on the strategic plan and the needs and how this board and leadership over many years has been focused on supporting our students' needs and getting them what they need and deserve. We've been developing this plan, and our plan has evolved, and it really grew with our preschool, and we were able to build partnerships, as mentioned before, and work with our community partnerships to continue to expand Lawrence and meet the needs of our students. And through a lot of back and forth and facility planning, through the great work in long-term strategic planning, this plan evolved, and working with educators, we realized that this was a great time to shift to a 6-to-8 model. And so I think it was just really helpful for me to hear those things, and it sounded like the community members appreciated it. But again, none of that information could have really come to light without the questions of our community and feedback. So it's been wonderful, and I encourage the board to continue to give us feedback on this ad hoc group, because we've been getting emails from all of you and trying to shift through and meet as frequently as possible. But it's been really, we know the board's working really hard to continue to give this group feedback. So thank you, and we're excited for the next month.
Thank you. Review of communications? Seeing none. Our first opportunity for public input. Please state your name, write your address, and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Thank you.
Hi, Mark Elliott, 43 Laurelwood. Just want to wish you guys a very merry School Board Member Appreciation Month. I did want to, this is something that's really important. You guys know, we got an executive order from the White House about, and by the way, sorry about being such a Debbie Downer. You guys have been all so positive today. It's been great seeing the presentation and the whole thing, but this is serious stuff. I mean, we've got an executive order that's saying that we can have immigration agents come into our schools and, take kids, basically. That's scary. That bothers me a lot. And I think it bothers a lot of the people in this community. We have a lot of immigrants in this community. And so I know you guys probably haven't, this has just happened this week. We knew it was coming down the road, but it's something that I know you guys will be talking about a lot, but I really hope that you guys get out there to the community and let them know that this school is there for them. We're not going to have some agents come into the school. And I realize that, this is all going to be dependent upon what the state does, and there's several states right now suing and saying that's unconstitutional, et cetera, but we really need some kind of word getting out there to this community because it's really, really disturbing. I mean, a school is supposed to be a place that a kid comes to learn, feels safe, feels good about learning, and can help become, evolve as a human being, as a good citizen, right? And so I'm just not going to keep going on about it, but this is something that I hope is my personal hope. The school will just put their foot down and say, no agents in this school, unless, of course, a warrant. But I mean, but we need something going out there. And I know I'm hitting you before you probably even thought of doing it, or probably you've already in the works, but that's what I'd like to say. But thank you for this time.
Thank you.
I'll go over it. You guys keep going.
Okay, any other public input? Okay. Seeing none, board discussion and work session. We have nothing this evening. Board discussion and action items. Personnel committee report and personnel action items.
Okay, we have not met yet, but we will. On tonight's agenda, you'll see approvals for resignation retirement. Wendy Opry, a librarian media specialist who's worked 16 years at Ben Franklin Elementary School. We thank her for her many hours of dedication to all of our students, staff, and parents. Please know we appreciate your years of dedication. We wish you a happy, healthy retirement that will begin the end of this school year. You'll also see payment for unused sick days, unpaid leaves, mentors, sub-teachers, and leave replacements, an amendment for a salary, adjustment for a start date, for a leave replacement, account numbers, appointments for several EDPs, Eagle staff, substitute secretaries, non-certificated staff, confirmation appointments due to clearances, and correction for hours and item numbers under new business. You okay? And also with that, I'd like to move P1 through P20, please.
Second?
Tom with a motion and a second.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Kroger?
Yes.
Dr. King?
Yes.
Ms. Martinez?
Yes.
Ms. Pasculi?
Yes.
Ms. Santos?
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise?
Yes.
Ms. Bose?
Yes.
Your motion carried.
Thank you. CIAPD and student services.
CIAPD did not meet yet, but on your agenda, you will see professional development, field trips, LTEF grant, and special ed. I would like to move OIS 1 through 3 and OSS 1 through 3, but pull out OIS 1.
Second.
Oh,
OIS.
so you don't want to move OIS 1 to 3, you want to
No,
move
right.
OIS 2 and 3?
2 and 3, and then OSS.
And all of OSS?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Tom? Or Webb, second.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Kroger?
Yes.
Dr. King?
Yes.
Ms. Martinez?
Yes.
Ms. Pasculi?
Yes.
Ms. Santos?
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise?
Yes.
Ms. Bose?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Now I'd like to move OIS 1.
Right. Got it.
Second. Motion and a second?
Second, okay. Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Groger?
Yes.
Dr. King?
Yes.
Ms. Martinez?
Yes.
Is that yes?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Pasculi?
Yes.
Ms. Santos?
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise?
Abstain.
Ms. Bose?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Finance Committee report and school business management action items.
I actually do not. We have not met. Our first meeting is scheduled for February 7th, and as usual, that will be, I'm sure, a busy, jam-packed, fun morning. So with that, I will move SBM 1 through 14.
Second.
Tom, a motion and a second by
Okay. Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Grover?
Yes.
Dr. King?
Yes.
Ms. Martinez?
Yes.
Ms. Pasculi?
Yes.
Ms. Santos?
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise?
Yes.
Ms. Bose?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. It's our next opportunity for public input. Okay, seeing none.
Michelle, just before we go on to new business, I did
Yes.
want to let board members know, February 11th, the day before our next board meeting, Mercer County VOTEC General Advisory Committee is meeting. Board members are invited. It is from 12, starts at 12:30 to 1:30.
I'm sorry, what was that date?
Mercer County VOTEC General Advisory Committee meets 12:30 to 1:30.
Okay.
As you can see from OSS 2, we do have a fair number of students that are attending, certainly through the part-time program and perhaps through the full-time program as well. So for those board members that would like to get a glimpse of what happens at VOTEC, predominantly the culinary arts is on display because it is a luncheon served by them. But you will hear much more about,
Is this at the Mercer?
it's at the SciPec Center, and the General Advisory Council is made up of other school board members, Mercer County Community College staff, and business partners.
Do you have to RSVP to that, or just show up?
I mean, if you tell me, I'll add it in, but they're usually ready to handle extras.
Great, thank you. Okay. No public input, so new business.
Oh, that's me.
Yes, that's you. Ms. Evans.
I would like to move NB 1 through NB 12.
Second?
The motion and a second, Tom?
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Grover?
Yes.
Dr. King?
Yes.
Ms. Martinez?
Yes.
Ms. Pasculi?
Yes.
Ms. Santos?
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise?
Yes.
Ms. Bose?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. And may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. Have a great evening, everyone.